Okay, so today you should be doing Conic Sections Day 3. If you have not done Day 2 or Day 1, make sure you do those first. Today you're going to write an equation of a horizontal or vertical ellipse given vertices and co-vertices. To be able to do that, you need to be able to determine the center of the ellipse using the midpoint formula, use the vertices to find A, the co-vertices to find B, and determine the direction of the ellipse to write the equation. All right, so example 1, in your notes. Once again, make sure you copy this in your notes. Pause the video, write it down. Okay, I've written down some steps for you. Step number 1 is to find the center using the midpoint formula with the vertices or the co-vertices. I always choose the first one they give me, which is the vertices. Here's your midpoint formula in case you forgot. So the midpoint formula tells you to do x1 plus x2, divide that by 2, y1 plus y2, divide that by 2. We're going to replace the x1 and x2, the y1 and the y2 with numbers. Those numbers are going to come from either the vertices or the co-vertices. I always choose the first one. It does not matter. So this is my x1, my y1, my x2, and my y2. So x1 is -5, x2 is 5, y1 is 0, and y2 is 0. Just plug it in. So that's where I got -5 plus 5, because this became -5, this became 5. Y1 is 0, y2 is 0, and keep simplifying. -5 plus 5 is 0, and then 0 plus 0 is 0. They both have a denominator of 2. Divide 0 divided by 2, that's 0, and then 0 divided by 2 is 0. What we just found, though, was the center. So you're going to write that down somewhere at the bottom right of your paper. So the center is 0, 0. Step 2 is to use the vertices to find A. The easiest way for you to do this is to just draw a rough sketch of what this looks like. So what I did is I drew an X and a Y axis. I plotted my center, which I just found is 0, 0. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to plot my vertices, which is -5, 0, and 5, 0. So I went left 5, 0, and then right 5, 0. The distance from the center to the vertice is 5, so that means that your A is 5. All right, step 3 is to use the co-vertices to find B. Well, the co-vertices they gave us are right here, so I'm going to graph these vertices. 0, -2 tells me to go down 2 and up 2. So the distance from the center to the co-vertice is just 2, so that means B is 2. Now that we have the center, the A, and the B, what we need to do next is we need to determine what the direction of the ellipse is. So once again, to figure out the direction of the ellipse, you just look at this. Is it wider or is it taller? Well, it's definitely wider. It's going right 5 and left 5. So this is a horizontal ellipse. Okay, so what we're going to do is write down the equation for the horizontal ellipse. And we start plugging in. So we know that the center is 0, 0. We're going to replace H and K with 0. We know that A is 5, so we're going to replace 5 with A. And we're going to be replacing B with 2. So that's what this looks like once you plug it in. So H became 0, K became 0, A became 5, and B became 2. And then you simplify. Again, x minus 0 is just x. 5 squared is 25, y minus 0 is just y. And that's your final answer. We have one more example to go through today. Example 2, once again, go ahead and write this in your notes, pause it, press play when you're ready. First step, find the center using the midpoint formula. So once again, the midpoint formula is as follows. You're going to plug in what you know. x1 is 5, x2 is 5. y1 is 8, y2 is -6. Plug it in and do some algebra. So we got 5 plus 5 right here is 10. 8 plus a -6 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my center is 5, 1. Once we find the center, then we need to use the vertices to find A. Once again, we're going to do a rough sketch. My center now is 5, 1, so I went right 5 and up 1 to plot my point. Now I'm going to plot my vertices. So my vertices are 5, 8, and 5, -6. So I went right 5 from 0. I went right 5, up 8, and then right 5, down 6. And now I need to count the distance from the center to one of the vertices. When I counted that, I got 7. That means that A is 7. Now we're going to do the same thing again, but this time with the vertices. So step 3 is use the co-vertices to find B. So our co-vertices are as follows. I'm going to plot those 2 points. Now what I need to do is find the distance from here to here. That distance was 6. So that means that B is 6. So now what we need to do is, the 4th step is to determine the direction of the ellipse. This one is a little bit harder to tell just visually, but you can see that, well, going right and left, I'm going right 6, and this one I'm going up 7, so it's longer. It's going up 7. So that means this is a vertical ellipse. Okay, write the equation. So now we got to write the vertical equation. We're going to plug in 5 in for H, 1 in for K, 7 in for A, 6 in for B. And then simplify. And that is your final answer. Anytime you get confused, guys, just pause, rewind it, rewatch it. And you know I have tutorials every day from 1 to 2. All right, so the assignment today is to go back to the lesson folder in Schoology and complete the assignment called Conic Sections Day 3 on a separate sheet of paper. Take a picture of your work with your name on it and submit it as an assignment.